At least 24 people are dead and many more missing after heavy rains caused flash flooding in Texas. Among the missing are more than 20 girls from the Camp Mystic summer camp. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more.
Tonight, the desperate search for the missing after deadly floodwaters swept through central Texas. Officials in Kerr County, north of San Antonio, say there are at least 13 fatalities and more than 20 children unaccounted for at a summer camp, issuing a disaster declaration amid catastrophic flooding.
On a day which is usually for celebration, it's a very tough day in Texas, and it was a destructive flood, taking property and sadly lives.
Homes washed away, floodwaters swallowing buildings and vehicles. After more than a month's worth of rain fell since the morning hours.
This came at night when people were asleep in bed. Please pray for our community.
Dozens of water rescues along the Guadalupe River.
We have a few steps right here, and I can only assume that there was a house attached to it.
The river rising to levels not seen in decades, according to the National Weather Service, rising from 7 to 29 feet in just 4 hours, reaching the second highest level on record.
This happened very quickly over a very short amount of time that could not be predicted.
Campers forced to evacuate from sites along the rising riverbank, including at the all-girls summer camp, Camp Mystic, where officials say more than 20 campers are still missing.
Right now, the only concern we have is rescuing everybody and all these kids out here.
Storms also battering the Northeast overnight. Officials say at least 3 people were killed in Plainfield in central New Jersey after trees fell on their vehicles.
Normally it takes me 5 minutes to get home. It took me 45 minutes to get home. There's trees down everywhere.
Winds in the region gusting to more than 60 miles per hour, taking down tree limbs and power lines. More than 110,000 households without power from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts.
And the danger in central Texas is far from over. Officials warning that rising runoff can make an already disastrous situation even worse. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
What's up out there, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope you guys are doing well out there on this beautiful warm Tuesday. I'm doing well myself, okay? I come across this particular situation talking about the flood that devastated Kerr County and Camp Mystic on the 4th of July, okay? Hey, I'm beginning to notice that every holiday, you know what I mean, there seems to be a catastrophic event takes place. I don't know when people are going to understand the Most High ain't playing about worshiping these other false religions and false gods, okay? And that goes with saying these pagan holidays. But be that it is, people are going to do whatever they want to do, okay? That's just what it is. Now, since that devastating flood that took place in Kerr County there and devastated Camp Mystic, the death toll has exceeded what was first told. It was, first saying like 60 to 80 people. It's exceeded 100 people now, okay? And they are on the 5th day of searching for lives, okay? There were a lot of lives lost. Condolences to the lost, the bereaved families who lost, their relatives and significant others. I like to make that clear. Now, we got the sister right here to your left. They coming at her. She's a TikToker, and also she's a formal appointed Mayoral, trustee or something like that. She was. And her name is Sade Perkins, okay? Sade Perkins made some allegations about Camp Mystic. And because she said this, there's a lot of people that's angry with her, mainly so-called white people, okay? They are angry at her. Now, to make something clear here, Miss Perkins never said one time that she was against the lives that were lost or the disappearances of these young girls. But she said some things about Camp Mystic that wasn't cool. Well, the way Camp Mystic ran things, okay? She pretty much said that Camp Mystic was like racist. You know what I mean? If you're not white, you know, you can't be in Camp Mystic. And a lot of people calling that, well, she racist for saying that. Well, I don't think so. You know, and by the time we get finished with the video, you'll understand why I say that. But what I want us to do is to hear Miss Sade Perkins, and then we're gonna listen to some other people, you know, giving their point of view about Sade Perkins. So without further ado, let's check this out.
I know I'm probably gonna get canceled for this, but Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all white only conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going, period. And I think that context needs to be said in this matter. It's not to say that we don't want the girls to be found, whatever girls that are missing or whatever right now, but you best believe, especially in today's political climate, if this were a group of Hispanic girls, especially with them being in East Texas, it should be most likely Hispanic. If this were a group of Hispanic girls out there, this would not be getting this type of coverage that they're getting. No one would give a and all these white people, the parents of these little girls, would be saying things like they need to be deported, they shouldn't have been here in the first place, and yada yada yada. So before y'all come at me, before y'all start leaving hate comments on my page about, oh, these are just kids and they don't know no better, the parents of these children who are choosing, and it is a choice in 2025, it is definitely a freaking choice to go into East damn Texas and to make a all-white enclave exclusionary just for white people, with all the black people in East Texas, with all the Hispanic people in East Texas. Somehow, some way, you have carved out an all whites only enclave in East Texas for your white children. Yeah, I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. Once again, this is no shade to the girls. I hope they all get found. But once again, y'all have to understand the climate that we're living in. They want you to have sympathy for these people. They want you to get out of your bed and to come out of your home and to go find these people and to donate your money to go find these people. Meanwhile, they are deporting your family members. Meanwhile, they're setting up concentration camps and prisons for your family members. And I need y'all to keep that in mind before y'all get out there and put on your rain boots and go find these little girls.
Now, ever since that she brung this alleged thing to light about Camp Mystic, they have been coming at her in droves. You see what I'm talking about? And there's people all over TikTok, you know what I mean, calling this woman a felon, you know, and all that kind of stuff. They went and, you know, basically doxed her, brung up her past and everything, and then also said that she's dating a white guy. You understand? So let's check this out.
The lady that came on TikTok to say some horrific things during a very tragic time, Miss Sadie Perkins, is a felon. She has doubled down on her actions. She's also uploading a video showing her pew pew. And guess what? Here's a wild thing. The lady who has an issue with white kids being in an all-white church is dating a white man. Let's get into it. Let's meet her boyfriend, Colin Boston, a senior minister at the First Unilateral Universalist Church of Houston. He apologized to his congregation for his girlfriend Sadie Perkins' remarks while acknowledging that he never endorsed them in the first place in a statement obtained by Daily Mail. But here's the crazy thing. You need to see her rap sheet. So here's Miss Sadie Perkins' rap sheet, okay? Just as late as June 2025, she has some charges with bodily injury to a family member, quote unquote battery, and for theft and burglary. The lady who's uploading a video showing some pew pew has a felony.
Damn,
what
pew
can go
pew.
wrong? It seems like somebody needs to make a few phone calls, right? Watch her video. Her account is on private now. Time to make that phone call, y'all. It's valid. Shouldn't be having a gun.
Is a very strong case of TDS, and like I've mentioned before, this Sade Perkins girl has lost her humanity and is very racist against white people. So let's pray for her that she opens up a dictionary or Googles what the real definition of empathy is, because clearly Miss Sade is not only suffering from severe TDS but lack of humanity and racism, but she also has delusion of the word empathy. So she thinks that she is full of empathy while she says, why are we hunting, quote unquote, for these white girls? Because there were a white girl camp, they're not that important, and that perhaps God washed them away for a reason. So I'm sorry, Miss Sade, that is not what empathy is. Wanting these little girls to not be found because they were born white, claiming that God, our creator, washed them away because they're white, not empathy. You have not a single minuscule ounce of empathy, nowhere in your heart. You're heartless, you're racist, and you continue to spew hate on the girls from the camp in Kerrville, Texas.
So you see, this sister right here is getting a lot of hate. You understand? I mean, basically alleging that Camp Mystic is basically racist. You know, I don't think, like she said, she have any shade towards these children that are now missing or deceased or what have you. And like I said, condolences to the bereaved family for the loss. You know, but at the same time, that does not let Camp Mystic off of the hook if Camp Mystic was actually engaging in these racist behaviors that this lady right here claims. You know, as a matter of fact, I don't know if y'all know it or not, but there was also a camp called Camp Bandina. Okay, that was actually flooded too, but it just so happened that the inhabitants were all so-called black. Check this out.
Tonight, a North Houston community is feeling relief after flash flooding near Camp Bandina left roads blocked and families worried. A bus finally pulled back into town, bringing home dozens of kids and a wave of emotion. Orko Manna was there for the heartfelt reunion.
To see this bus pull into the parking lot of Garden Oaks Church of Christ in North Houston is such a relief for these families. All these kids spending time this week at Camp Bandina, a Christian youth camp in Bandera, Texas. Flooding from the Guadalupe River and this tree blocking their way out of the camp, causing concern for loved ones.
I missed y'all. I'm so glad y'all made it back safely.
Erica White, grateful to see her 13-year-old daughter Madison Saturday and share an embrace. It's comforting to know all the kids are okay.
We were just praying, and last night was rough, but I was so happy when I could track her on Life 360 and see that they were heading back, so very grateful.
The panic paralyzing, knowing that less than 30 miles north of Camp Bandina in the Texas Hill Country is Camp Mystic. In the wake of the intense flooding Friday, Camp Mystic officials say more than 20 kids are still missing.
That camp isn't too far from where you guys were. So, I mean, how are you processing what happened out there?
We were initially shocked, and we were a little scared, to be honest, but we did pray about it, and fortunately we got through it.
It really shook a lot of the adults. We tried to keep the kids unaware of it.
Youth Minister Bryce Powers telling me his heart is with Camp Mystic right now.
We're blessed to have avoided the storm. We're blessed to be here, you know, we do send our thoughts and prayers out to the families of people who are lost and who they're still looking for.
Powers calling himself and his campers lucky that the water receded near them so they could come home.
Nature slowed it down just enough for us to get up out of here.
Reporting in North Houston, Orko Manna, KHOU 11 News.
So you see, nobody pretty much mentioned, you know, Camp Bandina, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? It's a terrible thing, to tell you the truth. But hey, the Most High is in control. We must always keep this thing in mind. You see what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. Now, like I'm saying, the hate that this sister right here is getting, just for pretty much exposing Camp Mystic alleged behaviors, racial behaviors. Hey, well, I'm gonna say it like with this picture right here. This picture is worth 1,000 words. Okay, and that's just what it is. Now, she also made some somewhat disparaging comments about, you know, the loss of these children, you know, where they're still looking for them and what have you. But she said that, you know, why should the world stand still when people are being deported, you know, and in concentration camps, you know, stand still for these lost children right here, you know what I'm saying, to go and find them. Okay, well, I'm gonna say this: they should still go and try to find the kids regardless, you see what I'm saying, or what have you. I'm gonna just say that, you know, pretty much that's the only thing that I disagree with this lady about. But if Camp Mystic was actually engaging in these particular things of racial ethics or whatever about keeping black children or Hispanic children out, well then they guilty. That's just what it is. I ain't saying that should have happened to them, but nevertheless it did. That's just what it is. That's all I got on this one, people. I want you guys to tell me what you think about this particular situation right here. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it. That's if you can comment in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. People, please remember to live your life as though we're being watched. Simply because we are. This is James, and I'm out. Peace.